Hey fellow painters, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be painting our first model from the Cities of Sigmar army set. We're also gonna choose a color scheme for this iconic Freeguild Steelhelm. I'll do my best to share my simple approach and some of my tips with you. Let's jump into the adventure. We've already unboxed the army set and assembled this Freeguild Steelhelm in previous videos. Feel free to go back and have a look at the previous episodes of this series for more detail. For now, we need to choose a color scheme for our soldier. Choosing the right color scheme is a crucial step. It's also a difficult choice if you're new to Age of Sigmar like me. So I read and listened to several videos about the different cities and finally decided to go for the fiery colors of Hammerhal Aqsha. I think the red and orange colors of this army will stand out on the battlefield and provide a striking contrast with the metal of their weapons and armors. I also enjoy the lore of this city and its towering bastions. I like to think the fortified town gate I started working on will make a good backdrop for this army. And of course, the Lioness of the Marsh had a great influence on my decision. Although she can be integrated in each army of the Cities of Sigmar, once again I wanted to respect the lore as much as possible and create an army of brutal action. Let me know if you think I made the right choice going with Hammerhal Aqsha. Also, let me know what's your favorite city or sub-faction. To start off, I'll use a black primer. At this point, if you see mold line, it's best to remove them right away and correct any imperfections. I'm mostly gonna use Vallejo paint because that's what I have on hand and I love this brand. Feel free to use your favorite brand of paint. As for the brushes, I'm gonna use a fine point number 1 for the base coat and a 2-0 for painting the details. I'll also use an old brush to apply shade and create aging effect. I'll use a combination of rather simple techniques. I start by applying a solid base coat on each part of the miniature. In doing so, I avoid painting the metal parts because their base color is black. I did not attach the shield to the model to be able to paint the rear part more easily. This way, I can also paint the parts of the model that will be more difficult to reach if the shield was in the way. I'll be using shade to enhance details and add shadows to the face. It's important to pay close attention to small details, such as facial features. Shades have a capillary action, meaning they flow into recessed areas due to their thin consistency. This makes them easy to apply without needing too much precision. Here I'm using an old brush, and I'm careful that the shade doesn't flow too far outside the area where I want to apply it. Let the shade dry completely before starting to highlight the model. Using the layering technique, I gradually build up the color to create depth and highlights. Starting with a dark color, I then apply successive layers of paler tones. For the final layer, I use a very light tone to add highlights to specific raised areas or edges. This creates the illusion of light reflecting off those surfaces. I'd like to know if you have a favorite painting technique when it comes to painting your army. Let me know in the comment section. There are examples of how to paint certain parts of the miniature in the battle tone. I will have the opportunity to talk more about individual parts of the model, as well as how to apply the decals in future videos. Several other YouTubers have already made videos on how they paint their cities of Sigmar models, so I'm gonna elaborate more on a subject that's a little less covered when painting an entire wargaming army. I'll be using the non-metallic metal technique to cover the armor and weapon. I call this approach wet painting, for lack of a better name to describe it. It's very similar to the layering technique, but instead of creating smooth color transition, the transition between color can be sharp at times. stimulating a more natural reflection of the light hitting the metal. This approach can also help create a hammered metal appearance on armors. We apply the darker color first, then the paler colors, making sure in the process to leave some of the previous color show. The final color should be only applied on the edges and eye points where the light shines the most. Note that I often use the side of the brush when I'm performing this technique. now gonna glue the shield to the model. I won't be completing the base for now, as I plan to add decorative elements to it. And there you have it, our first painted Freeguild Steelhelm from Hammerhal Aqsha. The color scheme of this first miniature will serve as a template for the rest of the army. Remember, the joy of miniature painting is in the process. Take your time and enjoy the journey. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more painting adventures. Additionally, if you need material to paint your models, or you're looking for a place to buy your Games Workshop miniatures, take a look at my favorite online store, Fenris Workshop. I'll leave a link to their website in the video description. In the next episode of this series, the guys have decided I'll be assembling a Freeguild Steelhelm standard barrel. Thanks for joining me today. Feel free to leave any questions or special requests in the comment section. Until next time, keep on painting and take care.